Hello everyone, my name is Aurora and welcome to my channel, and this is a long overdue moving update. So I'm actually just sitting on the mattress on the floor in my bedroom because a lot of things are packed up. I even packed up like the lights that were in the living room, so this is kind of the only room that gets decent lighting. But yeah, I'm probably gonna break this up into a couple of videos just because there's so much that I want to tell you guys and update you on, but let's just get started. So the first thing is I haven't done any updates because there was a 10-day period after I finished school where things were just there was just so much negativity in my life. I was feeling like hopeless. There was a lot of despair. I don't know what was happening. There was just a lot of emotional upheaval. And you would think like I finished school, it was a big accomplishment, I should be very proud of that, but I was just feeling very negative about like my whole school experience. And I think it affected me in a lot of ways. And then I wasn't able to find a place to live. Nothing was kind of happening with the move stuff. I was just feeling very overwhelmed. And even my mom like noticed that I was like depressed, and she was kind of concerned, and she would call me every day and she would send me messages to try and like cheer me up because it was a rough like 10-day period. I've never felt that way in my life, just that total like defeat feeling. And I did a lot of praying, and I was just asking for help to get through it, and things did get better. I am feeling much more optimistic and positive now though, and I've been able to accomplish a lot over the past couple of days. But one major development with the move is that my mother was planning on moving down to Texas with me after she retired and when her lease was up, and we were thinking that would be like the end of August. So I was just gonna stop in North Carolina where she lives now and pick up some of her stuff and put it in my moving truck and go ahead and take it to Texas. But we have since learned that the house that she's renting, the landlord sold the property. So now her lease is up at the end of June. So she's decided to just go ahead and move to Texas right along with me. So I am still going to be going down to North Carolina, and we're going to pack her stuff into my moving truck. So we got a larger moving truck for that, and we're just going to be going down to Texas together. So I'm really excited about that because, you know, it kind of like saves us from having to do two separate moves. We could just join them together. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, I want to talk about how difficult it has been to find a place to live in Dallas. So I thought I had found an apartment. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It had an attached 2-car garage. It was on the first floor. And I put in an application, and my application was denied. It was not approved. I don't know why. They asked me for a bunch of additional information, and I provided it. And then it was still denied, so they were asking me for more information, but by that point, like, they couldn't hold the apartment for me any longer, so they ended up renting it to someone else. So that was just like a very disheartening kind of situation. But I kept looking for a place to live, and I was looking not only at apartment complexes, but also at townhouses, or like house listings, and I just was not able to find anything. So one, there were a lot of places where they just had they were just like weird listings, places I would never live, just because there were some like crazy wallpapers or crazy wall colors, or just like really weird like layouts and things like that. And I took some pictures, like screenshots, and I may insert some of them and like talk through some of the things that I was seeing in these listings. Okay, so I'm now going to walk you through some of the screenshots I took when I was looking for a place to live. I didn't screenshot everything, so there was definitely a lot of crazy stuff that I saw, but these are just the ones that I happened to like have captured, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about like what I noticed like throughout all of the rental listings. Okay, so one thing that I noticed in a lot of rentals is that none of the appliances match. So this particular listing says there are stainless steel appliances in the kitchen with matching black refrigerator included. How can you have stainless steel appliances and a matching black refrigerator? Just think about that. Another thing that I noticed in a lot of rentals were these like plastered walls, like textured walls. They're kind of like Venetian plaster. That's the only way I know how to describe them. But this just doesn't look good. And there are a lot of places where the walls are like this, not only in bathrooms, but in living rooms, in bedrooms. And I just don't understand why. And here's another case of the mismatched appliances: the white refrigerator, white microwave, black and white stove, stainless steel dishwasher, and to top it all off, they give you an island that doesn't match anything. More mismatched appliances: black refrigerator, white dishwasher. I guess they did try to tie it together a little bit with the stove because it is black and white. A lot of places also had crazy colored walls. So this is a bright orange bedroom, but there are a lot of red accent walls, purple accent walls, lime green kitchens, yellow laundry rooms. I kind of saw it all. There was even a place that there was a bedroom that was completely painted in black. And you know, to each their own. If that's how you want to decorate your house, go for it. But if you're trying to rent it out, like, do us a favor and just get some neutral paint color and, you know, paint the walls back to a neutral color for the renters. It would be very, very much appreciated. This place was remodeled, but there's this weird, old, ugly drain in the middle of the bathroom. I don't know why I took a screenshot of this, probably because it was strange, but I did, yeah. And here's some more mismatched appliances, but I thought these were interesting because I've never seen a white and stainless steel appliance. So it kind of makes me wonder if this is like a magnet or a sticker or something that they put on the dishwasher so that it could kind of fit in with the other appliances. I don't know. Just, I've never seen that before. Here's some more colorful walls. So a red accent wall in the kitchen, a blue accent wall in the living area. And this particular listing, this is the same house. So I remember in the listing, it made sure to point out that there was new carpet installed in the dining room. And this is the dining room. And this is the new carpet. Yes. Just no words. A lot of rentals had crazy like cutouts into the kitchen. Well, I guess they're not crazy cutouts, but like I just don't understand why. So here's a cutout. You know, if you're in the dining room hanging out, you can look into the kitchen, but really you're just getting a view of the back of the stove. So, you know, maybe they should have just left the wall there. I saw this in a lot of rentals, and I guess it's not too terrible. I've just never seen it before, and I do think it looks a little bit strange. But having double sinks and like double vanities, but the cabinets and the countertop is not like connected. So they're just individual like sink and vanity, and then another sink and vanity next to it, which like I said, I don't think it would be that weird if you know, the sink and vanity was on one wall and then the other sink and vanity was on another part of the bathroom or a different wall. But like just having it like this, I think it looks really strange. Here's another kitchen cutout. So they have a beautifully decorated living room and there's a cutout to the kitchen, but it frames the refrigerator. Yes, and then we have this lovely gem here. So this is a master bedroom and the attached master bath. There is no door and it has this beautiful checkered tile. So here you can see it's also in the stand-up shower. And then here you get a shot of it in all its glory. Imagine, you know, walking into this bathroom every morning. This is a place that had been remodeled, but they didn't finish the remodel, yet they were renting it out this way. So as you can see, like there's still plywood visible, and I wasn't sure if they were intending on finishing that or if they were just gonna leave it like that. This one, so the place has really high ceilings, it's got a nice fireplace, but as you can see, someone decided to put in a mirrored mantle and take it all the way up to the ceiling. So yeah, interesting design choice there. This kitchen, I've never seen a stove on the kitchen island like that, and it's only big enough for the stove, so it's not like the stove is there and then there's additional counter space. I just feel like this could be very dangerous, especially if you have kids or like rambunctious pets or something. Like, just, I don't know, it irks me a little bit because I would be worried about cooking and having that counter just be floating in the middle of the kitchen. But I also think this is a good example of some other things that I saw in kitchens, which is tiled countertops. So this one's not too bad because they're smaller tiles, but there were a lot of places that were described as being remodeled and they had what looked like floor tiles as countertops in the kitchen. And you know, I just don't understand why. Like, not all countertops have to be granite or quartz. Like, you can do Formica countertops, but please don't use floor tiles as counters. This place, so this is the master bedroom, and as you can see, you're looking into the master bath on the other side, but it has this strange little outdoor cube. It's probably about 6 by 6 feet. You have the French doors on this side that you can walk out into that little outdoor area. And from the other side, you have the window where if you're sitting in the tub, you can look out into your beautiful little 6 foot by 6 foot outdoor area. Also, the jets on this tub, like, they need to be cleaned. So this place looks pretty nice, but there are a lot of rentals that don't include refrigerators. Some of them don't even include stoves. And this one I remember screenshotting because the description specifically said that all appliances were included in the rental, that it had a refrigerator. And the pictures that they show look nice, but nowhere in the kitchen do I see a refrigerator except for that mini fridge. So I'm kind of wondering, is that the refrigerator that they're including? I don't know. And here we have another lovely blue accent walls. And this place is actually not that bad from a structural perspective. I think it just kind of caught my eye because of the decor. It's very bright and bold. But if you haven't noticed, there's a stuffed leopard on the coffee table with a little baby leopard on its back. Yeah. Lovely. Another thing that I noticed in a lot of the rentals were there were just random sinks in the bedroom. No toilets, no showers, nothing like that, just sinks in the bedroom, and this is an example of that. And finally, here we have some more mismatched appliances. You have every possible variety here: white, stainless steel, and black. And it looks like that's it. So one other thing that I wanted to mention about like searching for a place online has to do with the apartments. So the apartment complexes would often include like 30 or 40 pictures. So you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a really good sense of like what the apartment looks like. But really, like, all of those pictures are of the clubhouse, the fitness center, the leasing office, and the like little conference rooms that they have. And there are only like a handful of pictures of the actual apartments. And that would just drive me crazy. And I don't understand like how we live in this like digital world where you can easily make a video with your phone, and these apartment complexes can't just like do a walkthrough of one of the apartments so you can actually see what it looks like. So yeah, I don't want to see pictures of the clubhouse, maybe a few here and there, but like I want to see pictures of the actual apartment. And there were a lot where it was just like, okay, well, it says that there's an attached garage, but it doesn't show you like the entrance to the garage. Like how is it a direct access garage to the apartment? And you're not actually showing me like where the door is to the garage, or even a picture of the garage itself. Like I want to see how big it is. What does that space look like? I would have also appreciated some pictures of the parking lot of the apartment, just to see like how small the spaces are, how like cramped it is. But they don't show you any of the real things that you want to see. They just show you kind of the picture perfect design, design spaces that they have. So that was just something that's really irritating, and I wish they would just be more like real about pictures and showing you what the actual apartment complex looks like and the apartment, itself, versus, trying to have this image of this super luxurious space. But yeah, that's just my little rant. But I think the main thing that made it really difficult to find a place to live is that as soon as like a property was listed that was like decent and it's somewhere that I would want to live, like it's also somewhere where other people would want to live. So those listings would go so quickly. Like it could go up and within a few hours, there would already be multiple applications in for it. And it didn't make any sense for me to go ahead and apply and pay the application fee, which application fees could be anywhere from like $40 to $100 for each application. And there was just kind of no point if there were already other applications in. I probably wouldn't get the place even if I did put in an application, just because I'm sure they would go by like the order in which you apply. So it was just really hard because like listings were going so quickly, and I think it was also difficult because like I'm not there to go see a place in person and put in an application. Whereas people like in the Dallas area, if they're just looking for a new place to live, they can like drive by the place or check it out, and go ahead and like rent it right away. Whereas I was relying on like sending emails or, calling the realtor and leaving messages and hoping that they would call me back. And I wasn't getting responses from anyone. Through email, I would call realtors and they would never call me back. It was just very, very difficult to try and find a place. And it was even like that with some of the apartment complexes. Like I would call them or send them messages through their like website, and they would just never respond to me. Another thing that I noticed about apartments were how the leasing offices were responding to negative reviews on Google. And like this one caught my eye just because I feel like the guy was being very honest. He even posted pictures. He was like, this place has roaches, and he took pictures of the roaches in his apartment. And the way that the leasing company responded to him was like, oh, we're sorry that you're having a negative experience. Please call us and we can discuss what's happening. And they never once like acknowledged the fact that he posted pictures of these dead roaches. Like if I were working in that leasing office, I would respond and be like, we're sending the exterminator right away. Like we're gonna fix this. But instead they're like, no, let's discuss this further. It's like, no, you can very clearly see there are roaches there. Like do something about it. But yeah, there were so many reviews like this, and I don't even know like what to think of like these property management companies and how they go about solving problems for people. So I did end up finding an apartment complex that is new construction, and it was in the area that I wanted to live in. And it actually is something that's not listed on a lot of the apartment like websites. I guess because they're like brand new, but it was one that I just happened to come across, and they had a 2-bedroom, 2-bath available on the first floor, like in the time frame that I was looking to move. And so I went ahead and put my application in online. But even that has been like a struggle to deal with, because I just went ahead and put my application in online because I didn't want to risk like someone else renting that apartment before I had a chance to like call and talk to them. So I did it online late one evening, and then the next day I didn't hear anything from them. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna wait. And like no one ever reached out to me. So I ended up calling them, and they were like, and I was just like, what's going on? Like I put in my application, and they were like, oh, like, are you still interested? And I'm like, yes, I paid the $85 application fee. I'm waiting to see if it's approved. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll go ahead and like run your like credit report and all of that stuff now. And so they did that, and they were like, but we won't have the results back until after Memorial Day, because this was like the Friday before Memorial Day. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I waited until the Tuesday following Memorial Day, and I had seen that they had checked my credit because it came up on like my like credit tracking thing, but they still hadn't reached out to me. So I called them again, and I asked for an update, and they were like, oh yeah, your application has been approved. And so they like needed me to do some other stuff in the online portal, and I went ahead and did that. But and I was expecting them to send me the lease, and so I was waiting and waiting, and today is Friday. So they've had like my application in since last Thursday, and today's Friday. And so I called them and I was like, well, am I going to be sent the lease or not? And they're like, yeah, we'll get it to you by the end of today. And they sent it at about 7 p.m. So I'm going to go ahead and actually execute the lease. But it's just been a bit of a strange experience with them too, because I've always had to be the one that like reaches out to them. They're not communicating to me at all. I have to call and ask for updates, and I just hope that that's not like what it's going to be like living in the apartment complex. Like if something breaks, or if I have like questions, like are they going to be responsive? But I will say that like during their office hours, like every time I call, they do answer the phone, which is more than what some of the other apartment complexes do. And once I have them on the phone, like they'll do things and answer questions, but they have never like proactively reached out to me. I always have to call and find out what's going on. But as for the apartment, it is $2,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It does come with like a refrigerator, a washer and dryer, and I don't have to pay for landscaping. They have like trash that I pay through the apartment. It's like valet trash service, which I've never had before, so I don't know how that's gonna work. And then the water like is billed through the apartment as well, so all I'll have to set up is electricity and internet, the apartment also has Amazon lockers for packages, which I really like. And I know that seems like not as important, but when you order a bunch of stuff online like I do, it really comes in handy. Like this apartment and the apartment I lived in before had the lockers, the package lockers, and it's just so convenient. I really don't like when the leasing office collects all the packages and you can only pick up your packages when the leasing office is open, because when the leasing office is open is usually when I'm at work. So it kind of defeats the purpose of like 2-day shipping or express shipping, because you can only pick up your packages during the time when the office is open. And I've had like a negative experience with that. I remember one time I lived in an apartment complex where they would do that, and I had ordered an Urban Decay like makeup palette. It was a full face palette. It had eyeshadows, it had cheek stuff. It came with like lip pencils and a mascara, and I was just really excited about it. And I got one of the last ones before it sold out. And so they sent the package and I got a notification that it had been delivered. So I went to the leasing office to ask them, for my package. And they were like, oh, we don't have anything for you. And I was like, but it says that it was delivered. And they were like, well, we don't have it. So I remember like going back to my apartment. I was really like bummed out about it. And then 2 days later, the leasing office sent me a message, and when I got there, they were like, yeah, we found your package. It was just stuck in the back of the cabinet, and we didn't notice it last time when you were here, but we have it now. And they handed me this box that had very clearly been opened, and when I opened it up right there, and it was empty. There was nothing in it. And so I asked them, I was like, well, where's the stuff that was inside? And they were like, oh, it came that way. And I was like, whatever, people, like they very clearly stole whatever was in my package. Also at these apartments, so during that time, I was starting a clothing line, and the manufacturer had mailed me a sample of one of the garments. And a leasing office gave that package to someone else. I don't know how they ended up giving it to someone else, but the person that they gave it to realized that they had made a mistake, and like she came and like knocked on my apartment door and gave the package to me. But yeah. And after that, I just never had anything delivered to that apartment complex. And then I don't like apartment complexes where they just deliver it to your front door, because that's like people steal packages. So anyways, that's a long story about Amazon locker, like package lockers. But even though the apartment is $2,000, I do think it's a pretty good deal, because with the apartment I am paying a lower deposit, and the pet deposit is actually lower as well. It's only $350, whereas if I did end up renting like a townhouse or a house for like $2,200 or $2,500, I would have to put like a $500 pet deposit, and then the first month's rent and security deposit, which is equal to a month's rent. And so that would come out to like putting $5,000 down out of pocket. And then on top of that, like I would probably have to buy a refrigerator, because a lot of rentals don't come with refrigerators. I'd have to buy a washer and dryer. I'd also have to pay for landscaping and all the utilities. Sorry, my throat is a little bit scratchy. So it would just turn out to be like really much more expensive just to move in, and then also on a monthly basis there would be more things that I would have to pay for. Whereas with the apartment, even though it is a little bit higher price, like $2,000 for just a 2-bedroom, a lot of those fees and things are included. And I want to say the deposit's only like $250 instead of a full month's security deposit. So yeah, that's the information on the apartment. I do have a place to live.